Hello, darlings and dears of the internet. Welcome back to today's episode of DieRole.
How we roll. Oh, wait.
We out here, boys.
Okay.
Welcome to the
Hello.
Did you guys hear my slap bracelet?
Wait, do it again. I did hear it.
Cody
Fun
just
fact, it's a USB slap bracelet.
Cody just got
That's just how we roll.
yes, just got immediately bombarded by the amount of voices, all of us talking at once, like we always do. But it was very funny.
Okay.
Hello, dear audience. Cody's here for this one. Hey.
So, welcome.
Yes.
He here.
The one and only.
Everyone's tuning in right now.
Aww. Yes.
All of my viewers better be watching us right now.
I agree. I'm gonna go into your chat next time and just be like, why weren't you guys watching DieRole then?
Exactly. Anyone that shows up, I'm gonna be like, what happened?
That sounds so aggressive and unlike you that it's very funny to think about.
Twitch has changed me. I'm a changed man.
Alright. If we're all a little bit calmed down from the excitement of having our other buddy back, we will go into this episode of DieRole where we left off, which is with you all, aside from Ashoka, who has decided to drift off for a little bit, and Forgana, who has been away for a little bit longer, have decided to take a long rest in the calmer section of the wilds shown to you to still be peaceful by the inheritors of the wilds. And it's as you take this long rest and drift off into sleep that Darius... No, not Darius. Ray. You begin to feel yourself slip into a dream. And it feels strange to have a dream as Ray while you're still in Darius. But you find yourself standing on something that feels like a raised platform. And there's a warm, almost paternal voice around you, somewhat amplified. And you're looking out, and you can tell that there are people watching you too, and people standing next to you, two people standing next to you. But the thing that you're focusing on, as this kind of warm, paternal voice drones on, listening words you can't quite hear, saying things that you know hold meaning and are important, but they're just not quite registering because you are holding something small and warm and kind of wriggling in your arms. Darius, I'd like you to roll a d6 for me, please. Or Ray, rather. Let me know if you can't, and I'll roll one for you. Okay. A little bit more focus of the sensory details of the situation start to come back into focus. And you begin to wonder if this is really a dream or a memory, because you realize, even though you're focused on the warm, wriggling thing in your arms, you realize that you're kind of antsy a little bit, but in a good and bad way. There's like a strange nervousness in your chest, and your skin kind of itches, and you're not sure if it's because of what it is that you're doing here or because of the almost too fancy clothes you're wearing, the kind that you wear when you're supposed to be doing something big and important and responsible. But it is the warm weight in your arms that is kind of grounding you there and making you less antsy and more excited all at once, because as this warm kind of paternal voice drones on, you realize that it's a child, a young child, and you're kind of bouncing it in your arms, and you glance over and you realize that a couple of the people that are there is a familiar looking man and a familiar looking woman, and you know that you know them because you look at them and there's like a little bubble of affection in your chest. And you look past them and there's a man standing behind some kind of an altar saying words and smiling broadly. And you look back down at the baby who is making faces at you, very rudely with big eyes and little tongue hanging out. Will you roll one more d6 for me, please? Okay. Okay. And you're not quite able to make everything out about the moment, but the warm paternal voice, you're not sure quite what you're asking. But it's asking you to say something. It's asking you to protect or watch over or lead or guide or something, and you can't quite tell because you're too distracted by all the silly little faces that this kid is making. But as the kid is looking up at you, kind of blinking with these big eyes, the like face starts to kind of almost fade away, and you're not sure why. And then to clear your head, you kind of shake it for a little bit, and the moment is different entirely. And you're sitting in a basement. You're sitting in a basement, and you're surrounded by a bunch of little kids, two of whom are arguing in the corner, others who are just kind of looking you over, one who's looking kind of judgmental, one who's kind of seems nervous sitting next to you. And at the head of the table, you see who must be Oliver, because he's got those big glasses, and he's looking at you, and he goes, So what do you want your bond to be? What do you want your bond to be? You gotta pick one. What do you say, Ray? What do you want your bond to be?
What are my choices?
Oh, you can talk about the pursuit of knowledge, or you can talk about the people that you've come from. You want to avenge somebody, or you can decide to protect someone or something. What do you want Darius? What do you want his bond to be, Dr. Ray? And he sits there with his pencil poised on your character sheet, kind of almost vibrating with excitement.
I want the bond to be the search of knowledge.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Is that all?
Well, if I can have more, I'd like spiritual.
Okay. Don't you want to... It's got to be about a person, though. Or people that you care about. Aren't there people that you care about? What's your bond gonna be?
Well, it's Oliver.
Well, that's sweet, but what do you mean?
Okay. It's all my students.
What do you want to do for students? Are you gonna have students in D&D too?
I want to protect my students and teach them.
Okay. And he writes it down on your sheet. And it feels a little bit fuzzy, but it feels like saying yes to this and to something that was a memory or maybe a dream. And then you wake up, and you're Darius. And your face is warm. And you are sitting in the wilds, surrounded by everybody else in the party. And you all are on the day before the refresh, which means any preparations you want to go through, you're going to have to go through today. Any conversations you want to have with people of this world, you're going to have today. And it also means that Vorgana, you've recently learned a prayer that you have to pray in order to go someplace you need to go. What is that prayer?
Hold on one second. I just had it.
I can describe where you're at right now while you look for it, don't worry. So, Vorgana,
Yes. Thank you.
you're sitting in the wooden, ever-shifting, small cabin you've been given aboard this ship. The barest bits of light leaking in from the floorboards above you. And there's a small cot and a small map that you've been given of the sea as you've seen it so far. There is your weapons and things that you've collected sit in the corner of the room. Because you think it might help with something like this, you've lit a small candle and you made sure that the candle holder was metal because that felt right for some reason. And you think about the visions that you've had and why you left in the first place and how you're kind of frustrated that you haven't gotten to where you thought you need to be yet, but you've been given this prayer and you think that, oh well, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the how I get to the place that I saw. Maybe this is how I get to that broken, sunken place. Maybe this is how I get to Oliver. Maybe this is how I do something. And so you sit on the floor of this wooden cabin, and you feel the light, and you feel the warmth and the smell of the burning wax of the candle. And you just think, and you pray, and you hope, and you use the words, if you have them.
I do. They've now come to me, and I say, "Let me be where the forge is hot, where the world is being shaped, where I can be an influence."
Mm-hmm.
And I just meditate on those words.
Okay. You know what? How about you roll a wisdom or religion check for me?
Okay. Give me 1 second here. Core, and then I'm trying to remember exactly how to do this. So it's core, and then what do I press to?
You can just click on the word wisdom or on the word religion, whichever is higher for you.
So wisdom. Let's see if my religion's higher. It's definitely higher, so I should probably do that one.
Sure. Okay.
Ooh.
So,
Nice.
you sit on the ground and you pray this prayer, wondering what exactly is going to happen. Not sure if you're going to find yourself at the bottom of some well or in front of a forge or what, but you can feel almost like you just keep breathing out and out and out and out, and it doesn't stop like it usually does. It doesn't stop like an exhale. You can feel yourself being pushed beyond the bounds of your physical body and then blown away with the wind, kind of swept away and pushed as you project yourself. And then it's strange, the feeling that happens, because you find yourself for the longest time breathing out, and then when you breathe in, you find yourself standing. But you're not just standing, you're rising and you're pulling yourself up and out, and as you look down, you can feel yourself being built anew, or a version of yourself, as you stand somewhere out in a dark, but not dark from lack of light place. As you look down and you see that your legs and feet and hips and torso and shoulders and arms are forged out of a roughly hewn metal, kind of bumpy and thick. And you feel towards your back and your weapons are there, and you feel to your side and your pouch is there, but it's strange because the metal is not unlike your skin, but so unlike your skin. But you find yourself standing in an unfamiliar forest, reforged to where you need to be. And it is as you recognize this that I would like you to make a perception check, please.
Okay.
And all those who are waking up in the camp make a perception check as well, if you wouldn't mind. All right.
Dang, rolling high, Veronica.
Uh-huh. Okay. Let's wait for
You're gonna
everyone.
have to roll mine, honey.
Okay.
Carrots. I'm still waking up, buddy.
Oh, sorry, Darius.
Oh.
Ooh.
Nobody notices
What I
anything.
get? What I
Okay.
get?
You got a natural one.
natural
I'm so
one.
sorry.
Aw.
So, Ashoka, you can roll one for me as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, roll perception?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Where, Ashoka, let me ask you. Wherever you were, did you decide to sleep the night before?
Yeah.
Okay. Then when you wake up, you are no longer Old Man Ashoka.
And
No.
everything is restored.
What? I want to be old man Ashoka.
You know how to be Old Man Ashoka.
Do I?
Oh my god.
Do I?
Did you make your perception check?
Oh yeah. I was just throwing my key.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So
We don't notice anything.
it's as you recognize yourself in this new form of Organa, in this unfamiliar wooded forest place, you hear from off to the side a and the whip of something against a beast, and then you kind of scramble back behind a tree as you watch a small earthen-hewn cart come rumbling by with these rough wheels, and on the back of the cart are these two cages with two girls sitting in them. One of them kind of thinner and kind of wispy, darting around the cage trying to shake it, while the other one is this girl with big glasses and pink robes and dark skin and hair, just kind of muttering to herself, considering just like, the taller girl kind of turns back to her in the cages of the cart and goes, "Why did you send us out here? We were doing so good. I wanted to go back to Excelsior to look at this thing." And the girl in the pink robes turns to her and goes, you don't understand how this works, okay? I know things sometimes. It just happens." And then as they're rattling by, you can see that they're
Is
being...
it Iris?
You don't hear anything, Mr. Natural and Perception. You're still caught up in the dream that you had. But the cart is rattling on by with a large furry man leading it. Would you like to do anything, Borgana?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't really know if I trust these people, but I guess I could use. I could just run out and be like, "Help! I'm stranded here. I need help."
So do you do that?
Yes.
Okay. The man driving the cart from these big, weirdly cat-like beasts kind of pulls to a stop as you run out in front of it, and the wheels kind of screech and send a little bit of like mud out from the forest floor towards you. What seems to be the... How did you get here?
I don't know. I was on a pirate ship, and then now I'm here, and I don't understand anything.
Are you an automaton? You're made of metal.
No, I'm not an automaton.
You kind of squeak as you move your legs.
Well, I mean, I might be part automaton. I don't remember, but still, you know, I just need to get to the nearest town.
Make a performance or persuasion check.
All right. Good thing I'm good in persuasion. Oh yeah.
As you say this, the two people from the cages in the back, the one girl who is talking about something Excelsior something seems to continue to be talking about it, but the one in the pink robes is looking over the driver's shoulder with just big eyes and kind of just like starts pointing to you, and then her, and then you, and then her. But the person driving the cart leans over and says, "Town is back that way. I won't be able to deliver you myself until I return these prisoners who are infringing on the borders of the wilds. But if you can stay here or come with me, I can perhaps lead you back before anything toward becomes of it."
Yeah, I'll come with you. I'm a cleric, and I think I can help you if anything goes awry.
Oh, right.
Also, I have an eye patch, so there's that.
No way.
You do have an eye patch on your metallic form. It's like slides slightly back and forth. It's also made of like a thinner metal, so it kind of sounds scratchy. Alright. So you get up on the cart with the guy?
Yes, I do.
Do you like try to sit on the bench where he's leading the animals forward, or you try to climb in back with the cages?
I ask him where he wants me. I'm like, where do you want me?
He kind of looks up and down at your metallic form. Perhaps the back would be best.
I say fair enough, and I just walk back there,
Okay. This,
clanking along.
he restarts the carriage. And then there's a kind of weirdly unnatural movement with how these panthers move, tied to the front of the carriage, pulling along this great wheeled thing. And as soon as the noise of the movement is too loud, the girl in the pink robes leans over in her cage and looks at you and says, "You're one of them! You're one of them!
I'm one of what?
You're one of the people that aren't from here. I can see it. It's you're like my age. Kind of. You're a little bit older.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really consider myself to be that person anymore. But, yeah, sure.
Come on. It's been a few days.
It's been years in my life. You don't even know.
I knew I was supposed to come to these wilds for a reason. Listen, you have to get me to your friends. We figured something out. We have to go. You have
I don't even know where my friends are.
What do you mean?
I don't know where they are. I've been looking for them. That's why I actually, I came here. I've been looking for them, but I don't know where they are.
There was so you don't know anything that's going on. Okay. How do
I don't.
Okay.
I was following another lead.
If I give you my glasses for a second, will you give them back right away?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Just put them on.
Why are you giving me your... Oh, okay.
Put them on and look at yourself, and then give them back.
Okay.
She
All right.
she takes the glasses off of her face, folds
Weirdo.
them,
No, I'm just kidding.
folds them, and hands them to you.
Okay.
Your
I take
Veronica
them
is
reluctantly.
Do you put them on?
I kind of go... I give a loud sigh. And then I just put them on my face, and I'm like, this isn't gonna show me anything, but...
You put them on, and on the eye not covered by the eye patch. In fact, the eye covered by the eye patch too, which is weird. You look down, and you see, like, the last pair of jeans you were wearing as Veronica. You can see, for, like, a flicker of a second, you can see the like, apron that you wear when you're working at the pizza place. You look down, and you can see the, like, last bits of nail polish you had on your hands.
I throw the glasses off.
Aw.
Just like in such shock. I'm like, whoa!
She's gonna try to catch him. Hold on.
Oh no!
Oh no,
Oh, no!
I give him to her. I guess I kind of toss them.
Okay,
Yeah,
she's
that's
still
fair.
gonna try to catch them.
I try to catch them too.
Okay,
Because I
make
realize in midair.
make an acrobatics check.
Oh,
Oh, no.
god.
That's unbelievable, gracious.
Oh my god!
A little hand darts out the cage and catches the glasses, and then she pulls them back in and puts them on her face. Why was
I tell. I'm sorry. It just startled me.
It's okay. I'm Iris.
I'm Vorgana.
She just kind of laughs and sticks her hand out of the cage for you to shake.
And then I go, I'm Veronica, and I tell her my real name, and I shake her hand.
Nice to meet you.
Vorgonica. Nice to meet you too.
She shakes your hand and then presses her face up against the bars. Okay, so two things. Don't
Wait,
tell.
can I ask a question before you ask your two things?
Sure.
Why are you in this cage?
Because I knew I had to come to the wilds, and Kasha wouldn't leave me because she thought I'd die on my own, which is fair. But also, I know that I needed to come here because that drow lady that they found before, that they told me about, came back yelling into the city, and she, we really just need to find your friends, okay?
All right, I have no idea what you're talking about, but sure, yeah, let's find them.
That's the two things. Two things. You can't.
Okay, yeah, two things.
You can't tell anyone else in this. She kind of tries to whisper, leaning closer, even though she's already pushed up against the bars.
I lean in so I can hear a little bit.
Okay. You can't tell anybody else in this world who you really are, because they tried to do that before, and Kasha almost got hurt. 2, we really need to get to your friends, so help me trick this driver person and or magically teleport me away. I don't know what you do.
You don't know what I do?
No, I knew I had to come to the wilds, and you said that you told the driver that you thought you had to come here and find your friends, but you found me, so we're probably supposed to work together? I don't know what, she waves a hand at your general personage. I don't know what kind of magic metal people do, so, we can figure something out.
I don't really know what kind of metal magic I'm gonna be able to do either, but I guess I'll try my best, and yeah, I'm willing to help you if you need help, especially if it gets us the same goal.
Okay. Are you good at finding your way through forests?
I guess, yeah.
Okay, then I have an idea.
Decent. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Kasha, hold on! And you see the other girl go, what? And then just, and then she grabs onto the bars of her cage, and you watch as Iris's hand disappears between her rows for a second, and then she pulls out a little wand, and she just kind of does a little flourish behind the driver, and then the driver nods off and almost topples off of the cart, but you guys are still being pulled through the forest by panthers. What are you gonna do?
I run to the cart and try to stop the panthers from moving.
Okay, make an animal handling check.
Oh god. No.
They kind of slow down a little bit, but they're confused as to why they're not being directed. What do you want to do? Just pick a direction. You found me. Just do whatever you did and find them.
Okay, I start trying to steer them and try to give give a clear way or try to stay on the right path.
Okay, make either a survival or a wisdom check. They don't. Yeah. Okay.
Whew.
So it takes you a couple of tries, but you do eventually find a clear path in front of you. You think you're either on a similar or the same path that the driver was originally on, who is still bouncing unconscious in the seat next to you.
I asked Iris, do you know which way they went? Or
No, I know that he was taking us to wherever they keep people in cages, but I don't know if that's where your friends are right now. But I think they're all linked. I think they're linked, so just keep going. And
sure, yeah.
So you drive the cart forward, and you do eventually find the path big enough for these. And then you eventually find yourself coming upon a clearing with these large, intricate kind of tree houses built from the various things that have been discarded from the wilds. Go ahead and make a perception check for me as you try to figure out if this is where your friends are.
Okay. Nice.
You instantly know that so many natural 20s. It's so wonderfully convenient. Thank goodness. Okay, you instantly recognize that this is like a marvel built from the nature entirely. You can see that there are people here preparing for battle. You can see that there are other people in hanging cages up above, a couple of whom I don't know if you were there when he was there, but you instantly recognize this is not where your friends are, and you see a path from the opposite side of the clearing that continues with the same width, and you just kind of charge through the camp people on the ground where you are, scattering around, like pulling other carts and things out of your way as you just kind of make a big arc.
Like, move!
Yeah. And
Move out of my way!
and continue down the other path. And you follow that same perception check and that same survival check forward and forward and forward until suddenly, in the peaceful clearing start of day, oh boy, you all are waking up. Ray, you've just had this dream. You've taken a few minutes to kind of get yourself where you need to be, idly wondering where Ashoka's gone to, kind of considering each other, and then from the tree line, a large carriage led by two panthers barely stopping at the edge of the water. The unconscious original driver falling off with the sudden loss of momentum. The cages tumbling off the side, and Vorgana, you just barely managed to hold on as you come hurtling into this clearing with your friends.
Iris and Dasha, was it?
Kasha.
Kasha. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I asked that as we're like slowing down to a halt
Yeah.
mid-section.
Their cages tumble off the side, still locked, and Iris just kind of goes, ow.
Aw, I want to help them get out of the cages.
Okay. So,
Wait, so we can see them now, right?
yeah,
Or no?
you can see them, and you can see a metal Vorgana. A, like, weirdly shambling metal Vorgana, Iris and Kasha in cages. At the edge of this super peaceful
Am I
lake.
dreaming right now? I go up and I poke Morgana's eye patch. And I'm just like, is this a dream?
I zoom
Hey.
over there on my flying carpet.
Hey, don't touch the merchandise, bud.
Is that Morgana? Is that really you?
Victor,
That's
is that-
Veronica, all
Victor,
right.
Harrison, is that you? Victor, I mean Harrison.
Yeah. I mean, Iris knows. I don't think she'll be that freaked out.
It's been so
What?
long.
Where were you?
Where were you exactly?
All right, hold on. I take out a piece of paper. I say,
The last thing that we heard was that you were gonna go talk to a god to fix
Yes.
things.
yes, I had a vision of a god and a drowned, broken anvil far, far away. And I got into a fight at the docks of Port
Not
Wayne
surprising.
with a crew that had just sailed in, and they ended up taking me aboard because they were like, "Hey, you fight really well." After I had bloodied them up, and then I was like, "Sure,
Wow.
I guess I'll." And then I started to trying to like. I met a monk with dark skin and golden tattoos, which kind of made me feel weird. But
Oh.
I mean, like I don't really know who he was, but he seemed to know like a lot about me. And then an old elven captain who I actually I kind of don't really remember too much about him, but I think he was the one that let me on board. I kind of got confused because I got on so many cruise ships and. Oh, I have this pirate hat too, and I pull out like a pirate hat. And I fix it on
Whoa.
my head.
Do you also have a
And
peg
then-
leg?
No, I didn't get one of those yet.
Oh my
I needed
God.
to be third tier.
Veronica, I was being sarcastic.
Oh well, I'm not because I love being a pirate.
2 quick questions. Iris, when you mentioned the monk with the brown skin and gold tattoos, you hear Iris gasp. A. B. Ashoka, do you want to be here for this?
No.
Come on.
I am in a place, and you know where
That's
I'm
your
at. Daddy.
sister.
I do. I'm asking. I can think of a conceivable way as to how you could end up back here. I'm asking, do you want to be here?
Not yet.
Okay, roll a wisdom check for me.
Okay.
Oh, I also fought an aboleth, guys. I should probably mention that.
What?
We heard about that.
Did?
We were told by people at a bar. Yeah.
Oh wow, nice. I'm glad that my adventures are are, spreading far and wide. I haven't heard anything about you guys.
I kind of just try to shove him a little bit,
Okay.
but I forget that he's made of metal, so I kind of just end up hurting my hands.
I kind of just go like,
That's
Poncho.
not. I don't care anything about where you were. I care about why you left. You left us without any consideration for what we were doing and how that would affect us.
I just give Poncho a hug. It's good to see you, buddy.
I just reluctantly hug back.
I also apologize for the way I acted when we were back in our regular bodies.
All that matters is that she's back, right? And I pat Morgana on the shoulder.
I think this is the only time Veronica has ever or will ever give me a hug, so I suppose I should enjoy.
I'll say this: I didn't mean to just totally abandon y'all, and I'm sorry about that. That was not my intent.
It's okay. We all reacted differently when we first got here. We don't know what's going on.
It took me a long time to accept that I was Veronica still. And it's still hard for me. I just take it as that I'm Morgana now.
It's kind of how it's starting to feel for all of us, I think.
A little bit.
Well, it's good to know that we're not alone,
Yeah.
So what's
Also, Iris, where were you?
I was trying to get to you. Can you get me out of this cage?
I zoom over to you.
I'm gonna try to pick the lock.
Okay, please go ahead and roll for your lock picks.
Check out this magic flying carpet I magically have.
Oh!
I
I have one of those back home. The lock pops open without too much resistance on Iris's cage, and you see Kasha kind of breathe a sigh of relief and then wave her hand to be like, hello?
Jeez.
Iris...
Oron would kill us if you knew what was going on.
Which is why...
Where did you go?
We're not gonna...
Where did both of you go?
We were investigating the murders. Are you gonna unlock Kasha as well?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
Wait, Kasha, are you going to behave?
What do you mean?
It's a simple question.
I've behaved well enough until now. She really has. I mean, she's kind of a lot, but... What do you mean I'm a lot? You're a lot. You pop the cage open on hers, and she, like, reaches up immediately, Vincent, and grabs, like, your shirt and goes, she nearly died 3 times when I was watching her. I cannot let her out of my sight. I see now why the old man was like this. Do you understand my frustration?
Well,
Iris, where is your grandpa?
I'm not really sure. I think he might be somewhere also here? I don't really know.
Yeah, we lost
Is he the one that fell asleep?
Who?
What?
wait, what? Oh,
Iris, is he the one that fell asleep?
No, that was just the guy driving the carriage, I think.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Or the wagon.
Oh, this is
There
not your
have been
grandpa,
many
and I
old
just kind of slap him on
Yes.
while he's still sleeping.
When you slap him, make an attack roll. Roll 1d20 and add your
no.
strength.
Can I go over towards the
Hold on.
Panthers and see how they are?
Towards the what?
The Panthers? Or
Sure.
did they run away?
They're just standing there kind of antsy. Make an animal handling check. Okay. So you smack him, and he kind of startles in his sleep, but doesn't wake up.
Nice.
Good.
The Panthers seem kind of antsy. They're kind of idly starting to pull the cart back into the woods. When you approach, one of them tries to back up while the other tries to come forward to meet you, and they get a little bit tangled in the, like, harness.
Aww. Hey, little guys. Do you want to be friends? Can we be friends?
And you hear Jacques go,
Oh, I know, Jacques, you love cats.
Aw.
Do you guys want to play? Hey, do you guys think I should let them free and they can be our Panthers now?
We should ask people in the wilds first, because they'd probably know more about them.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna listen to me forever.
I don't know about that,
Can I make
but
an Oliver roll?
what?
we can let them go just for them to be
An
free.
Oliver roll?
If you want to make an Oliver roll to see if you can keep the Panthers forever, I will let you do that. Are you doing this? Hold on. Also, Now that you guys have all joined back together, it does become clear that you guys need to use this last day. Darius seems a little bit off, like he's distracted. Ashoka still isn't here. But you have a returned Vorgana, Kasha and Iris to talk to, and other folks that you may want to talk to in the middle of the city. But first, let's do this. Oliver roll. Do you want to do this willfully, hopefully, with a memory, with a bond, by being curious, or by trying to understand something?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Okay. Let me double check something real quick for you.
So you guys have to catch us up on what happened in the city with the murders.
Yeah, what's going
I
on?
also just tell Kasha while she's like grabbing onto me, I'm like, we're very grateful that you were there to help to protect Iris for us.
If she dies in the first 5 minutes of you all being around her again, I'm going to be very put out.
Well, there's more of us here to protect her now.
She like squints at you. Iris, where she's standing kind of near you, Vorgana elbows your side and and goes,
See, I knew she liked me. She keeps talking about how she doesn't like me, but I knew she liked me.
and Kasha
Also,
just
it
goes,
was never
"Shh."
my decision to let you both go on your own. I wasn't there for that discussion. You were both just gone.
Edgar, go ahead and roll 1d6 plus 1 for me.
1d6.
Okay. You get the feeling that if you can physically take care of them and bring them with you where you go on this plane, you don't see a reason why they wouldn't want to come with you.
Wow. Do you guys want to just keep them forever?
It's up to you.
I mean, we kind of are stealing them. Because they belong to the people who were driving the carriage.
Mysteriously,
and they're also the
Let's
people
lock
we're
him
trying
out.
to
He's
ally
good.
with. So.
He's not waking up.
mysteriously, after you make this roll, you look over towards where the driver was just a second ago, and he no longer seems to be there.
Oh!
Locked him out of existence.
What did I just do?
You're
well,
not
I guess
sure.
we really have to take these guys now.
Yeah, they're going to look pretty funny if we're walking around the middle of the city with them.
They do.
But if they're nice and friendly.
They come up to like about where your ribs are, Pam, in height.
Wow! Oh, you're such a cutie.
One of them
we
seems
can
more
keep them
outgoing.
if you
One of
let
them
me
quiet.
get a horse.
What is Darius there?
He is there.
Oh, hey
Aw.
Darius!
I'm here.
Ray!
How's it going, brother?
It's been so long.
How was your trip?
It was trippy.
Cool, man.
Thus far, the only
We're gonna
person not
start
there
laughing.
is Ashoka. Yeah.
Where's my brother? Where's my bro?
He's in the forest somewhere, so we should probably go find him.
Also, the one thing I've heard is there's a person that keeps turning into an old man. Is that him?
That is absolutely him.
Oh man, I knew it. So I do know of some of your guys' adventures then, because I just kept hearing about the old man turning into a young man.
Okay. You guys, we need
Yes.
to tell you what we know about the murders, and also, I'm pretty sure you mentioned my uncle.
She looks at you,
Yes.
Vorgana.
Uncle?
What?
You mean the monk?
He said he has gold tattoos, right? That move?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Uncle Marcus.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa!
Okay.
What a small world.
Well, not too small. He
For
does
some kind
this.
of intervention.
He seemed like a cool person. I just didn't really, he seems very, very strong, so I was a little intimidated.
Yeah, he's kind of like that. He's from my grandma's order of Arcanum back at home in Einstar. But anyway.
Einstein.
Your uncle is a monk pirate?
Yeah.
Einstein?
I am he traveled with me for a little bit.
He probably likes you.
I liked him too.
You'll know that he likes you if he tries to, trip you for fun sometimes, but then helps you up. He does that.
Well, he beat the shit out of the aboleth.
That also sounds like him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So wait, why was he here then?
Oh, I don't know. He kind of just travels to find new information for the order. Maybe he was around for the same reason I was, which I also don't entirely know. But
And then Kasha steps up and crosses her arms and goes, "But murderers."
yeah, but murderers.
And then she
What did
looks.
you find out?
We found out that the Guild of Nameless Entities is made up of people who have either been shunned by other guilds or are still a part of other guilds, but are smart enough to not get caught. So
Okay.
there are some people from Excelsior who are part of it, who either left Excelsior or are still part of Excelsior and just quiet.
And there may be fewer people who are from other guilds but are still a part of it, who have some kind of either just general plan to take over the city eventually or change it to what it was before.
Back when Dox Mayus reigned.
But I don't get that, because also then... Oh.
See, you figured out your statement in the middle of it. You need to stop doing that.
Well, I just... Hold on. It was also back when
Oh my god.
Back when the, oh, what was it called that Siwaz told me before? The Sentinels? The reason that Doxmaeus was able to exist before is because the Sentinels were around to stop them, but now the Sentinels is like 3 people who don't really do anything. So, Doxmaeus would be worse. So that's what Gon is kind of trying to be again.
Basically,
Do you know any specific names of people who might be trying to lead this group?
We found a couple.
yeah, there were, I wanted to do more investigating at Excelsior before we came here.
But we had to come here because there was a big metal guy who came to take us right to where we needed to go. Where would it be without big metal guy?
Okay,
That's
okay.
me.
Yes,
See
it
the
is.
names? I have a couple names that might ring a bell.
Okay.
Rio or Ephraim? Ephraim Baum.
Ephraim Baum. I know that guy.
Okay.
He's one of the 3, like, heads of the house at Excelsior.
What does that mean?
Oh.
It means that I thought this was just some punks being absurd, not the Iris. I need to.
We need to... Yeah. Okay.
So
what else?
tell us more.
I was gonna try to talk to Kellen, who's the, like, face of Excelsior here, but this doesn't seem like the kind of thing he'd do. For all of the faults of Excelsior, he's been trying. And I know that there was a couple of the younger people who got swept up in it, people who had been kind of a direct pipeline from, the orphanage to Excelsior, get mixed up in being angry.
Gross.
Like Gorgo or Henrietta, but I don't know. They're just kids I knew.
Yeah.
So it's bigger than we thought. Which isn't surprising because the reports of the murders in the city went back for longer than before I got here, certainly. And
Right.
longer than I remember, being aware of such things. So
we can assume that Gon is responsible for these murders?
That who? Could you repeat that?
Gon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why?
That's what we're not too sure of. We're not sure if they want to influence the city as it is, or take it over, or both.
And what did we learn from that lady in the cage upstairs? She was she had information about that. That's where we got the names Ephraim and
It was
Rio.
that was from the gross guy, Rio. You guys know? Do you guys know a Rio?
Ugh,
Granny, can I look through my big book of criminals and see if any names
Sure, make an
are in
investigation
there?
check.
You have a big book of criminals?
Yes, but it's separate from my plot important books that I also
Make an investigation check and then a wisdom check for me, if you please.
These are both gonna be terrible.
Okay.
Oh no!
Yes.
Okay.
Can I help him look and give him advantage?
Boom.
I'll let you give him advantage on the wisdom check. So take it
I'm
again.
also flipping through this book with you.
Hmm.
Over your shoulder, whether you like it or not. Okay.
Make a perception
Well, I
check,
can-
Pam.
Thank you, though, anyway.
See what you see in his book.
Oh my god!
A lot of the things, it seems that your book is kind of almost prioritizing people who are causing trouble in the city, because most of the other people in the book that you've seen have been like crossed out because you've taken care of them in one way or another. The latest one is still the last person I told you about, which I can repeat if you want me to. Pam, you're having a hard time seeing anything.
I walk over and I'm like, let me see it, and I like pull the book from them.
Do you allow this, or are we doing strength contests?
Well, I let Morgana look at it, but I don't let him take it from me.
Okay, Morgana,
I'm like, I'll give it back.
you look at it, kind of held down flat in
Whoa.
Vincent's hands,
I
and
grab Iris' glasses.
clear as day, you see a sketch, almost seeming to come more into color under the glasses and with your perception check, of a blue tiefling woman with a kind of scar winding around part of her ear, which other people hadn't noticed before on this, who's almost like half looking over her shoulder. Looking back on earlier pages of the book, you can see various nasty-looking types, a couple who look surprisingly innocent. You can see the old bedraggled arcanist or two. You can see a couple of people who look like ruffians or thieves, but you also see a handful of clean-shaven, people who look too hard to be normal, so you know that they're weird.
I point to the blue tiefling woman, and I'm like, "Is this who you're looking for?" And I give it back to Harrison and Poncho.
Yes and no. We know of her, and we know that she's involved with what's going on. But I was looking for more of the people they were just talking about.
There must be. Can I have my glasses back?
Sure. I give them back.
Thank you.
She pushes them back onto her face, and then kind of considers for a second, and then pulls them off, and then looks at the page without them and puts them back on, and then she kind of goes,
Oh. Huh. That's something. Just hold on a second. I'm thinking.
She looks at the page and studies it for a second.
Okay. 2 new things. Different than the first 2 things. 1. I haven't seen blue tieflings in this country yet. I've heard of them before, but they're not from here.
Okay.
2. She holds up her glasses and she goes, I don't think I need these to see anymore.
Whoa. Can we have them? 'Cause that would be awesome.
Hold on. The thing is, I can kind of look at you, and
I'm going to roll something for her. I don't know why I'm over here doing prop work by taking off my own glasses when none of you can see me. And she kind of squints.
okay. I think if I try, I can see you as you are without these, but I can definitely see see without them. So So maybe. I'd like to hold on to them for now, but I get the feeling,
And she puts him back on and looks at all of you pointedly.
I get the feeling that pretty soon enough you guys are gonna need these more than I do.
Well, that's cryptic.
I'm working with
Well,
what
I
I've
mean, it
got.
would be pretty useful.
Iris, you're supposed to have all the answers.
She's like,
Since when?
she makes a face at you. The people that are talking to her make a wisdom check. Also, Ashoka, have you yet chosen to arrive?
Um,
Wow.
Wait,
Darius
does
and
everyone need to, or is it just
you can
Oh yeah.
Darius and Morgana, you can make wisdom checks as well.
Okay.
Um, I arrive, but
Oh, geez.
We're dumb as rocks.
um, I arrive, but I am.
Thank you, Darius.
I arrive back in the forest, but I'm lost in the forest.
Wait, what?
What? You were in the forest the whole time.
No, I was not.
Can you,
Yeah, he went into the
Ashoka,
ocean.
please repeat what you said? I didn't quite hear you.
I arrived back in the forest, but in a different place, and I am lost.
Roll a wisdom check for me. Darius, you out of the people
you're
talking
gonna have to
to...
roll it for me.
I rolled it for you. You got a 17.
Yes.
Okay. You, Ashoka, you find yourself in a forest, manifesting your physical body once more. Out of a stream somewhere that seems to be leading back to someplace, but you haven't been this way before. Darius, you recall the glasses in Iris's hand were the one other point of light you'd found so far for Oliver, along with the comic book. So when she says that she thinks
Right.
you'll need it, that's what she means.
I understand, yes.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna take it from her until she's ready.
Okay.
Okay. I think the plan.
Have we,
Hmm?
let me ask you a question though. Has any of us put the glasses on and then read the comic book?
No.
Maybe we should try that.
Kasha kind of leans over to Iris and goes, "What are they talking about?" And Iris just goes,
It's fine. They're just like, don't worry about it.
Oh.
"You're being
Thermal
weird."
glasses.
I am not being weird. I am not being any weirder than usual.
I don't know if you should take that as a compliment, princess. What the? Shush!
So I would like to try that.
Okay. Iris hands you her glasses and goes off to talk with Kasha for a second about their next move. It becomes relatively evident that they're going to leave you guys on your own again as they make their way back to the city.
Wait, what?
Not yet. Not
They're
until they're
leaving?
done with the glasses, but they're talking about their plans, and you can kind of overhear that they're like, okay, well, we want to go check back on Excelsior while you guys are working on whatever it is you're doing here. And she wants to find Olron, Kasha wants to talk to Kellen, all these things. So,
I want to know more about Ephraim and stuff.
I just want to see my brother.
okay. Ashoka, make a survival check as you follow the stream. Darius, I'm going to have you make another wisdom check as you're looking through the glasses. Okay, it's still going. You're slowly following the stream back to its eventual end, but you get the impulse, since this stream feels to be one of the cleanest places here in the forest, will eventually lead you back to the spot that your friends had been shown the day prior.
Yeah, I'm all like, this seems like clean and really nice. It seems kind of suspicious.
Yeah.
I don't trust the stream anymore.
Okay. Alright, if you don't trust the stream, what does that mean?
It means I take to the trees.
Okay, Ashoka will inevitably at some point find his way back to the group. Alright, Darius, I see your rolls. Whoever has the background noise, Darius, if you could mute for a sec. Pretty please. Thank you. Alright. So with your wisdom check, which I will count that as because it's the same modifier for you, looking down at the comic book with these glasses, you can see that the pages, as you pour through them, individually each, turn into a kind of picturesque, almost shifting landscape look of different places that you haven't been before. The first page actually looks to be a small bedroom with two little bunk beds and bears images of like two kids, one of whom you recognize as Tink, the other whom you recognize as Grum. And you can kind of see the image shift a little bit, and then it shifts to the street outside of the orphanage where they're playing and holding the comic book. And then it kind of zooms out further, and you can kind of see at large Portwind on the map, and the little like light lit up, and then the light stays lit up a like bright kind of blue yellow, as if to indicate that it has been found. You turn to the next page, and you see a place you're very unfamiliar with. This kind of tall castle-like structure with these large banners in between of this kind of red and gold and kind of like a soft coral and pink color. And you can kind of see it shifting inward until you're in a room that is entirely round with a canopy bed and shelves covered in books and a little kind of practice sketches of arcane circles on the floor. And then a familiar figure with brown hair darting around, a kind of deep blue overcoat and pink skirt tossed randomly over various surfaces. There's like an ink spilling somewhere onto the floor, and as that zooms out, you see kind of the woods around it, thick and dense, but different from the woods here, more in a fall season, reaching lower to the ground, a large moat in a courtyard where there's other people working and doing some kind of what you think are like body forms that look monk-ish, and then it zooms out further and you see it marked on the map as this place where Iris is from, and it kind of and also turns green. And the third page that you turn to,
It turns solid, like it's been found.
yeah. So, and then the third page you start to turn to looks like a place entirely unrecognizable as well. It looks like it's, let's see here. It looks like it's a dark room with this gray stone, and kind of almost the barest bit of light out above it, and you don't see anyone around, but you see the light shift ever so slightly, and when that zooms out, it's a town. It looks